Rebirth of Souls is really good, honestly, in my opinion. But the only thing that plagues it is kind of one of the fundamental features of the game, the online. People get on these online, these games, whether it's online, meant to be, or offline or something. It doesn't matter what your intentions of with creating these types of games, Sparking Zero, Naruto, Bleach. It don't matter. They could come out with a new Tekken game. People are going to want to play online. We're in 2025. That is what connects pretty much everybody. And a lot of people aren't just having people come over to their house anymore and having these on the couch experiences. What happens when you release a brand new game that people have been looking forward to for over a decade, and we're like, we got a new Bleach game, but the online isn't very functional. So if I was to say anything about the Bleach Rebirth of Souls game, it has a pretty good story. To me, I'm somebody that's not been super tapped into the story at every single story beat, but I have been somebody that's been tapped in enough to know the major story arc. Regardless, I can understand how maybe the story isn't that engaging for you. The beginning of the story for what I was playing wasn't that great, but as soon as you got into the Soul Society arc, that started kind of picking up the pace in the story, but it's still kind of like a not very well paced story. And that's just not really due to the game. That's really due to the fact that Bleach, the core source material doesn't have really great pacing. A lot of people joke on Bleach by saying it's 70% filler, 30% actual story and canonized events. And how do you bring that to a video game? It's going to translate some way of being a lot of stuff that feels really slow and kind of killing the pace of certain things. Now, I haven't completed the story mode. I'm actually only 19% of the way through the actual full story, but I am 49, basically 50% way done through the Soul Society arc of the story. So I still have a lot of the story to catch up on and to play through. However, a lot of people are going to buy this game and they're not going to want to play story mode. Let's be honest here. They're not going to want to play the story mode. A lot of people are just going to jump on, what can I do in practice? What can I do in online? How can I sauce people up? And it doesn't have a ranked mode. So once that gets added in, because I've been hearing from different sources that we're going to have a ranked mode in the game, then people are going to have that added into their list of, well, how high and how far can I get in ranked inside of Bleach Rebirth of Souls. And if you don't really have that all fundamentally down, yeah, it's not probably a good game you should buy off the wake up. Like, you maybe should wait a little bit until you start hearing people and seeing videos of people showing off, there's a new update that fixes online and a new update that fixes this mechanic in the game or whatever. Because what you have and why online is broken at the moment is you have a game that when you first get into it, on PlayStation 5, I've been hearing is the best experience. PC, I've been hearing is the worst experience. And Xbox is second as runner-up as, again, one of the worst experiences. There are 3 game modes that you can go into, I believe, for the online. And that is quick play, find room, create room. Finding a room is probably the best option as of right now. It's the most consistent. You find a room and it constantly puts you in contact with a lot of people, and then you can see that you can, oh, let me click on this room, I want to play against this person, I want to play against this person, I want to play against this person. You can see their connection bars before you click on them, and that allows you to kind of have some variation of who you're about to jump into a match with. And if it doesn't let you see the connection bar beforehand, I think it lets you see it as soon as you jump into the actual lobby, the room. But then you have creating a room, and sometimes when you create a room, it feels like you're waiting forever for somebody to join you. And the only way that you can play the game with your friends, because there's no formal way to invite your friends unless you're on PC, I believe, or actually no, I think it's only on Xbox, which is a little odd. But across the board, the only way to really invite your friends is to create almost like you're playing a Dark Souls or some type of Souls-like game where you're creating a code that you put in. So that's like your room code. And so if you want to play with a friend, they're going to go ahead and find a room code. There's also no interconnectivity between platforms, so there's no crossplay at all. I don't know why that's still not a common thing. You know, I feel like it was becoming a common thing in the late 2010s, you know, 2017, 18, 19, we was constantly getting games that was cross-play, cross-platform, whatever. And then like 2020, 2021 happened, and it just started going downhill again. I'm not entirely sure why. Only thing I could probably give them an excuse is that PlayStation constantly wants to take more and more percentages, and when you have a game that's crossplay, they get the majority of your sales on that platform. And the only big advantage of having crossplay is for a marketing standpoint, but they wouldn't really receive that much more income considering how much PlayStation actually takes from a crossplay game. Now, I don't think that they need that, considering, you know, the majority of people play fighting games on PlayStation. PlayStation is the dominant market at the moment, and a lot of people don't play fighting games on PC. But then again, there's still tons of people that do. So, you know, we're in 2025. A lot of people like to play games together. So there's that negative feature to that. And then the thing that you would think would work the best, the quick play, so you can just go in there, click a button. It doesn't work. I don't understand why Bandai Namco constantly has issues with their online connectivity. Sparking Zero is a perfect example. We waited half a year before we got quick play. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. Like, Sparking Zero came out in October. It wasn't until 2 or 3 patches in where we actually got a quick play function in the game, because they just was like, yeah, we can just create a room. That's your quick play. That's your non-ranked experience. But nobody wants that. Everybody likes the ease of access of the 21st century. The ease of access. I constantly say that we are living in a microwave generation. Whether you consider that a good or bad thing is entirely your view and standpoint. At times, I personally believe it's a little bit mixed. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, depending on the situation. Situations such as video games, I feel like it's a good thing. Microwave generation, give me the options to quickly get into a match and then rematch somebody, and then if I want to dip out, I can dip out. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm outside of like rage quitting or anything. Like, literally, it's just, okay, let me jump into a match, boom. Now let's jump into the next match. Let's jump into the next match. That is the longevity of these games, allowing that ease of access of jumping into a match. When you have to constantly, okay, I gotta click in this menu, now I gotta go in this menu, and I gotta go in this menu, and you start burying stuff behind multiple barriers and menus to just jump into an online match. People are like, you know, we're lazy people. Honestly, I know somebody's gonna probably be like, oh, speak for yourself. No, I'm speaking for the mass majority of people. It's like we're conditioned. I wouldn't even say we're lazy. We're conditioned for ease of access. We've had so many other examples from Bandai making games where it's easy to just jump into a game. The Naruto games never had an issue just jumping into an online match. They have a quick play feature, boom, it's like that. Well, theirs is more formulated for a room play, but it's still very quick at how you jump into a match. Demon Slayer, very quick, how you jump into a match. Again, people are here being like, what are y'all doing? That's the main frustration. I don't get it. We constantly been telling you this is how you make your game better, but at a certain point, it just goes down to the bottom line. It feels like Bandai Namco truly is just a scummy game developer slash publisher. They either berate on their studios that work under them that they can't have these features in the game, sell it back to them, do this. Instead of just making a full product that works, they seem to be completely benign on actually listening to customer feedback and listening to fans of the series. Oh, look at what you did with Kakarot. You freaking cut all this content out the game or something like that. I'm pretty sure Bandai helped produce that game or publish the game. I know it was made by CyberConnect 2, which are excellent with like animation stuff, and they're good, and it was like their first really huge RPG type thing outside of Asura's Wrath. But I mean, come on now. Bandai constantly puts out these products that's like always missing something. It's presented and marketed beautifully, always is, but you're always missing something. Now, like I said, personally, I've been enjoying the hell out of Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I think it's a great game. Okay, I take that back. I think it's a really good game, and it has very engaging combat, and I think that the combat system that is in the game, although simple, it's very practical, and it just works. It feels rewarding because it's kind of like this chess game, rock, paper, scissors on like, okay, are they about to attack here? Are they about to do this thing here? Do I need to chill out here? Now, I get it. I get it. A lot of people are kind of hit or miss on that type of game style. I don't personally mind it because I grew up on games like Budokai, and it does remind me a little bit of that, because Budokai is like this 2.5D, 2D, 3D fighter where, you know, you have this small arena space, and sometimes you got to guess what your opponent's about to press or something. You know, do you want to hit him with this Kamehameha wave? Do you want to combo into this thing? It's not even as intricate as the Budokai games, because those are like very vastly different inputs to perform your combos. But again, Bleach is simple yet rewarding, and it works. It does feel engaging. It feels very engaging to flash step behind somebody, extend this combo, get their compact cooldown, and like watch their reishi and all that. Like it still feels rewarding. It kind of has elements of Street Fighter, elements of Tekken, elements of its own little originality, and an element of like all their past previous anime games that they've created. And I get that anime games constantly get like this bad rep. I know, I get it, but it's almost deserved. It's like you're purposefully doing something just for a bottom line. Let's just pump this out to them. They're gonna buy it. We're gonna make our profit, and then we'll just move on to the next project. We'll say that we're supporting this game for years, and then in those years, we're actually just gonna spread out a few updates a year, maybe 2-3 updates. Like the consistency at which Bandai updates their games, you would think that they haven't been they've released these games years ago, because typically when you have a game that's released for years and years at a time, like they've already been working on the game for a lot of time, they put the game out, when the game first comes out, they're typically constantly shoving out updates to make it as good as they can, and they build it up to this standard, and then they're like, okay, the game's been out for a year or a year and a half, we're gonna slow down on our updates, and then we're gonna start incrementally giving you some updates, some DLC, some patches here outside of the day one patch, and you know, stuff like that. That slowed down record, that feels at the rate as what Bandai freaking pushes out for updates. It's like the game has already been out for a year or two, and then we're just sitting here as a community just waiting. You know what I was used to? Xenoverse. You know how consistently Xenoverse had fucking updates, bro? They had updates almost every other week. Almost every other week, sometimes 2-3 times a month to fix things. Oh shoot, we gotta fix the drop rate in this thing. Boom, update. Oh, we got a DLC here. Boom, update. Oh, this thing happened in the anime. Let's add this into the game. Let's get a quick update in about 2 weeks from this event happening. Boom, update. Where's all that love here? I don't want to hear about it being, that was in a that was an always online game, and you know, it had its own connectivity. Like, no, bro, it's still a video game at the end of the day, bro. Like, just update the game. I know you probably like, well, it's not that easy. You got to go through these processes. This person has to approve it. Then approve it. Clearly, your customer base, your fan base, your people don't enjoy certain aspects of your product. Update it. It's as simple as that. It's really that simple. What makes anything better ever is just options, right? The difference between the poor and the rich is options. That's what makes life a little bit more enjoyable. Do I have the option to go into ranked? Do I have the option for quick play? Do I have the option to go into a room? Do I have the option to invite my friend? Do I have the option to go play with another friend that's on an entirely different platform? Do I have the option to just do offline content? Do I have the option to do challenges? Do I have the option to do a story mode? Do I have the option to go into practice and really button mash or try to figure out these little things to get in between my enemies and stuff? Like, it's options. Options is what makes the world go round. When you go somewhere and you only have one option, eventually that shit gets stale, bro. Right now, all I'm saying is that Bandai needs to continue to cook and not simmer. I'm tired of the simmering. I need y'all niggas to actually start putting some seasoning on that shit and cook, bro. Just cook. You got a good baseline here. A very good baseline. Start pumping out updates so people can stop talking shit about your games, bro. It's the same shit that happened for Assassin's Creed in Ubisoft. Ubisoft is getting dragged through the mud. Dragged through the mud. You even hear the name of a Ubisoft game, immediately it's negativity attached to it. Why? Because they've done the double C's that I've preached on my streams before, created consistency. And you can create consistency, but that consistency can be consistently ass. And that's what Bandai has been starting to do for years, actually. Years on years and years. I've been saying it for a long time. They cook with their animations, typically. They cook with their marketing behind their biggest projects. They have really great cinematic stuff in there where it almost looks like an anime, or if they trust the studio to make in-game animations look a certain unique way and have this like feel to it, they cook with that shit. Absolutely cook. But the vast majority of their games, that shit just be simmering. It looked good at first, you jump into it, they try to maybe make the first little couple hours engaging. After that, we just like, what's going on? But if we're talking straight fighting games, man, it's always a miss. It's always a miss, always something going wrong. It's been a long time since Bandai has put out a game that's just worked online perfectly as a fighter. Just a straight fighting game, okay? As a straight fighting game. Outside of like, if it was anime related. Because I do understand that Bandai helps publish and produce, I believe, the Tekken games, don't they? Isn't Bandai in charge of the Tekken games? The same way that From Software, everybody likes to say From Software, From Software, From Software. Guess who helps put out From Software games? Bandai Namco. They do. Elden Ring. Look at that little logo at the bottom left or bottom right side of the screen next time you open up Elden Ring. Bandai Namco. Guess who's on Bandai Namco's freaking front page? Elden Ring Night Ring coming out soon. This game coming out soon. Pac-Man coming out soon. This thing. They have so many things under their belt. Why do you treat the fighter games so poorly? Because I refuse to believe it's just Spike Chunsoft, the developer. Because every time that they want something to come out, they have to ask you. You're basically their damn parent company. Unless I have an entirely incorrect and inconsistent basis on that. Cool. Just let me know in the comments. I don't know everything. I'm just speaking it how I see it. I say this with passion. I want the game to be good. I want the game to be successful. I enjoy these types of games. I know you've seen a plethora of types of games on my channel, and some people don't like it and some people love it. It is what it is. I understand I've not consistently put out one type of content, but it's in my description on my channel. I don't have a follow set content strategy. I put content out. I play games that I enjoy. I'm a full creative. I'm a full creator. I play lots of different games, and I like to play fighting games. I do. I don't always get super intricate and deep into every single fighting game that I play, but over that, I like anime shit, bro. I grew up with this shit. I grew up with Naruto. I grew up with Dragon Ball. I grew up with Yu Yu Hakusho. I grew up with Hunter x Hunter. I grew up with this and that and this and that. So when I see a game comes out that looks like maybe the developers had a little bit of passion behind it, of course I want that shit to be successful. Because it really be feeling like the developers want to do something, but their publishers aren't allowing them to do it or something like that. Or their parent company aren't giving them the budget to push this update through and stuff. It sucks, bro. It really does suck. And then you get cases like Sparking Zero where somebody is charging $25 for essentially 3, 4, 5, 6 characters or some shit like that, and no stages, no whatever, and like, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. Anyways, before I end this off, I just want to show you an example. I watched President Rose's video, and he made some really good points here, so I'm gonna check this out with you guys, just a little bit of it, so you can see exactly what he's saying and kind of why I'm saying and resonating with it. I think the combat is good when you can actually play the game, and I've had personal issues trying to find matches myself, and once you learn the game and you play it, it is cool. It's cool, but you got to be able to engage with the game. Like, most people on PC can't even open the game properly. It's crazy. All right, he has this video, don't buy Bleach Rebirth of Souls.
That's what I have to do. That's like telling me to put it on.
This I ran into literally like 10-20 times. what was worse was that this was the experience that I got as soon as I opened up the game. That I just felt like was like, what are we doing? Was the servers overloaded? Like, what was going on? This has been the majority of my experiences anytime I went to just a free match. I said quick play, but quick play and free match is essentially the exact same thing, okay? Free match is this game's version of quick play. You put in your specifications, your map that you would prefer, your connection speed, and if you want to play with certain items on, and then you click start matchmaking. You can go into practice mode while it's continuing to matchmake like you can in a lot of other fighting games, and then it'll try to connect you with somebody. But then it'll just get you this message: this device has sent too many requests to the server. Please try again. Hello? All I did was just click start matchmaking one time. It sent too many requests? That's ridiculous. Come on now.
Go to room match.
Like when I was live, I was literally just like, I was tapped out when the game first came out.
To the menu.
Yeah, this was another issue. This is the loop on Xbox. It takes you right back to the menu when you click room match. And then on PC, it'll just crash your game. Majority of the time, you can't even open up the game.
Choices you have? I did restart. I already restarted. I go to room match, it takes me right back to the menu. So you don't think I'm lying or trying to like, look, find room. My hand is not on the controller.
This is crazy.
It takes me right back to the menu so you don't think I'm pressing B secretly.
Pressing B secretly. Hey, yo, I love Brody, man. To me, he always sounds like, my reference point always sounded like a Trey Rags, but like a different version of him or something. Yeah, and then this. What I don't get about Rebirth of Souls netcode or their connectivity is that I'll be in the middle of a match. Everything would have been completely smooth, and then all of a sudden it's like the opponent or the server or something has like a lag switch, and then every other move is stuttery and jittery, and I'm like, what happened? We played through the first half of this match perfectly fine. Or what will happen is when the opponent gets low on health, or when I get low on health, all of a sudden it starts lagging, and I'm like, okay, so this is what we're doing here. And I've had 3 or 4 instances of the game completely lagging out. Yeah, I totally get it.
Hey, as long as this shit got good music, it don't matter. Listen to the music, bro. The music is fire, man. As long as it got good music, it don't matter.
As long as it got good music, bro. As long as it got good tunes.
Is that all you can do?
Nah, there was also a loop where I've seen this online too. You're in the middle of like about to do your special attack and it doesn't connect because it's like some type of server thing, and because their health is all the way down, it's just gonna keep on repeating until it connects eventually. So you just have to go through the loop a few times for the server to like catch up to what you're doing, I guess. Like, this is crazy. And you know, people out there can't just continue to cope and be like, well, it's your connection, bro. It's your connection. It's this connection. It's like, bro, I have gigabyte internet. What are you talking about? Plugged in. This isn't off no Wi-Fi shit. You can't just keep blaming it on people because you don't want to accept what's going on right in front of your face. This is what the majority of people's experience were. This isn't the minority here. This is what the majority have experienced. There's an entire Reddit thread within the first 3 hours of the game being out. Because I tried to connect to people in that first 2-3 hours the game was out. Oh my God, you can check it on my Twitch, bro.
Man, this is great.
Sweet, man. This is great.
No, as long as I'm enjoying it, it's fun.
Oh my gosh, bro. As long as I'm enjoying it, it's fun. Shout out to the Dragon Ball shit, bro. Shout out to Dragon Ball shit. Now, he says some pretty important stuff here, too. He adds to my point.
As you can see, from my experience in the intro of the video, Brad, I'm not happy with this game. I streamed this game yesterday for 6 hours, and that
was
my experience.
I feel that.
Sad and pathetic. For a release to be acting like that is crazy, bro. You feel me? And I just think it's funny because I tried to tell a lot of people about this game, and I got called a Bleach hater. I got called
I feel that.
I got called all types of stuff because of me being honest with you guys, bro. I just want to be real, man. Like, I think people hyped up this game way too much, and the problems that I was saying came true. I said the internet was gonna be trash. As you can see, everything is just bad, bro. Y'all don't even have a rank system, bro. Like, I don't realize y'all know how crazy that is.
I personally don't believe that you have to have a ranked right out the gate, but at least announce to people, hey, we aren't going to have a ranked system in the game for the first month of the game being out, because we want people to have the ability to practice the best that they can, and then we're going to roll it out in an update. Like, have it predetermined, pre-made, so that way people aren't ambiguous with the information and that we can expect it. We're going off of the information of data miners at the moment. I don't believe that there's any confirmed information, to my knowledge, that we're actually getting a ranked system in this game. The only thing we know is from data miners looking at the code and looking at some secret files that's inside of the PC games, the PC game port of the, Rebirth of Souls. Come out with it predated. Just say with like maybe within an hour of the game coming out, hey, we're gonna delay, just something simple. We're gonna delay ranked coming into the game for the first 2 weeks to allow players to truly get down the fundamentals of the system. We understand this may frustrate some people, but we just personally felt it was the best creative decision to allow people to participate and be at a certain level once ranked comes into the play, or something like that. I don't know. That way you're kind of covering your ass with it. You feel what I'm saying? And you're just not out just leaving it ambiguous.
And it's crazy for people to be coping, talking about we don't need a rank system. That's what broke Sparking Zero. Buddy.
Yeah, no, that's not what broke Sparking Zero.
What made rank so good in fighting games or whatnot. Plus, this is one of the main reasons I feel like rank is kind of needed. If you're playing ranked and somebody rage quit or leave on you, bruh, you're supposed to get their points and still look like you won the fight. Yep. If it's just player match, and if I fight somebody, I could rage quit all I want and not even get a penalty for it.
See, that is a good caveat to that, though. But again, that adds to the whole, if you had it predetermined, then people know it's coming a little bit later. It's 100% coming later. We know that. Not just ambiguous.
We need a rank. It's delusional that people are saying that we don't need rank. We don't. It's sad. You're
and on PlayStation, you can't refund your game either. Like, that's just not an option. You can't refund it once you have pre-ordered and then played the game. I believe for it, it's like you can't refund the game you played at all for like the first hour or two. In the majority of the time, it takes people at least more than 2 hours to determine if they want to actually play this game.
Hoping. It's sad, bro. Every fighting game needs rank. That's just delusional. But no, they want to make it. They want to make excuses because it's a baby daddy Bleach game. That's what they want to do.
That's true.
You feel me?
Everybody gets defensive about their anime.
Rank is people digging in data files looking for rank and stuff and finding little things.
Okay, see, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Excited for bare minimum stuff that's supposed to be in the game.
Yeah,
you're getting excited for, dude, that's supposed to be in the game. What are you happy for? They left it out day one. You're not getting that thing, bro. Y'all might get it in a couple of months or something. I don't know, bro.
That's all right.
That's already pathetic. First, you guys don't even have a spectate mode.
Also, a point. And not having spectator mode is ridiculous.
Spectate people.
We've been letting Bandai know to add spectator in their games since Naruto. Hashtag fix Storm 4. Does nobody remember Afro's movement? Nobody? Am I the only one? We made a pretty significant big difference in Storm 4. Nobody remember that. There was a lot of changes that we pushed to have freaking fixed. Bandai, come on. Even if Tamsoft made the game and it didn't have any of these modes inside of the game baseline, you should have looked at the product and said, I remember there was a campaign a few years ago where they made a really big, loud ruckus about not having a spectator mode in our games. And they really do like ranks, and it allows the longevity of the game. Make sure you work on those. And if you don't plan on having it out with the day one patch, let us know, and we'll make an announcement saying that it's coming at a later date. Give us a defined later date that is going to be ready and functional, so that way we can actually give that information to the public. And then we can give them a formal apology saying, hey, we're very sorry. The developers didn't know that this was an important feature of our video games. They didn't do enough research, but it is coming. They have worked on it, and it's going to be coming out in the second patch of the game. The first patch is counting as the day one patch. The second patch will be coming out in the next 2 weeks. Simple. That authenticity allows people to come in and view your product with a certain lens of understanding. That's all I'm saying.
You can't even host tournaments and do nothing like that because you don't have the spectate mode. Second of all, you can't even invite your friends.
The majority of people drop off of a fighting game within the first 2 weeks as well. That's just a true statistic, man.
It's like,
you're there for your fix, and then when you have consistent issues, you taint that first impression. People don't want to come back.
Way too high. And all I was trying to tell people is like, y'all could be happy y'all got a Bleach game, but lower them expectations, because at the end of the day, it's Bandai Namco game, bro. And that is no disrespect to anything, but I'm just saying,
all disrespect, bro. All disrespect. Games, it's Bandai Namco, bro. All disrespect.
Warn people for it.
All disrespect.
The game is, and people like hyping up. Before we even get into that, I just want to talk about the mechanics of the game. Now, like I said,
now people were saying it's intricate and all that. There's some layers and some like small little depth to the gameplay, but I wouldn't say it's like, oh, it's a lot of depth there. Same thing with like when you play a Naruto Storm game. There's depth there that's worth learning to string things together. But just learn, if you fundamentally understand how the game works, it's a simple game. And the same thing works for Bleach Rebirth or Souls. It doesn't have to be intricate, but you can make it more intricate by doing things that the game doesn't outright tell you that is able to be done, and string things together. Simple as that. Put it on advanced controls, learn how to do things whenever you want to do it, find your own little combos to do stuff. And yeah, your first couple times in the game, if you didn't touch the tutorial or didn't go into the training or practice mode, it's going to feel like there's a lot of shit going on. I felt overwhelmed. But from the last 2 videos that I posted, I've already improved a lot. I can see when people are doing stuff. Doesn't mean that I'm the best player, but I can see when people are doing stuff. I understand what they're doing now. You know what I mean?
I think this comes up from people hyping it way too much. Because I was hearing in the community that this game is very different, it plays different and stuff like that, which I do think it's got some unique to it.
It does.
Once you learn the game, everybody got the same inputs. It's just different moves.
Yep. And that's the level of depth. That's the level of complexity, right? You understand that everybody is going to use square and triangle for these baseline moves, and you can understand that triangle is supposed to be more of a ranged attack, gives you a little bit extra range on your attacks, and then square is supposed to be more close up. It does less damage, and then circle is like a signature ability. Some of them can hold and charge it up and have a meter. There's different things that it does. So it's learning the character's distance, keeping people at bay, learning how to zone. That's the depth in it. But that's the depth that you get in every single fighting game ever created. Not everybody has the same depth unless everybody is playing the exact same way, right? Like, you go into a Tekken game. If you're fighting against Devil Jin versus pretty much everybody, there's a likelihood that you're going to be at a disadvantage because Devil Jin can shoot fucking lasers. That's a depth. That's a level of depth that's in the game that comes from playing the game. If you've never seen it before, then you wouldn't have that knowledge nor that know-how of how to defend against that, or even knowing that you're supposed to do anything for that and how to counteract that level of gameplay, because you didn't even know that he was a zoning type of a character, but also can mix your ass up inside. So that's the level of depth that we're talking about. It's just knowing the characters, what they are supposed to be doing, and sometimes that messes me up. Like, I've gotten to plenty of online matches now, and there's like, you know, the Fox captain that I personally don't remember from the show. I know him, I just don't remember all his abilities. Brody summons like this big avatar, almost like a Susanoo behind him, and that's just his awakening, and you have to do enough damage to him to be able to knock him out of that. And then he's like on the ground, staggered a little bit. Similarly, if you played the Storm series, to how Guy Sensei gets when he goes into the Night Guy 8 Gates version, and then after his awakening is done, he's kind of on himself, breathing really hard on the floor, you know, on the ground. That's like, there's some level of depth there to game knowledge. But outside of that, it fundamentally is just, do you have a good understanding of how the game works? And if you do, you're probably going to perform pretty decent. After that, reaction time. Can you break out of stuff? Are people putting more pressure on you than you're able to know how to react and deal with at a certain amount of time? This character has shorter range than that character. This person has a bow. This person is only quick and long, quick, and he's like really in your face. Chad, for example, he's really hard to play with when you're playing against people that have really long range, because he's a brawler inside of a sword game, a sword fighting game for the majority of the part. That everybody has fucking Bankais and their Shikai, right? So like, that's what I'm saying.
And I don't think nothing's wrong with that. I like it. I don't think nothing's wrong with it, but people made it seem like this game was gonna be technical. It's hard. Or something like that, dude.
No, it looks that way. It has that perception, though.
It's just different moves.
Yeah, it definitely has the perception of being technical.
Everybody got its square.
They did a really good job of kind of disguising it. And again, I don't think that's a negative thing.
It seemed like that this game was like Tekken, Mortal Kombat, or something, like something real technical. It's not the case.
Nah, no, Tekken and Mortal Kombat are way more technical.
It's cool, but I'm saying,
I personally would say this is closer to Street Fighter than it is to Tekken. And that's because Street Fighter isn't an overly technical game. There's frame data and things that you have to know, the same way that this game tells you in the tutorial and inside of the practice mode. And if you go into like the character guides, that's kind of like the character's sheet of their moveset. It tells you, hey, you have plus frames on this move. Oh, when you backstep, you're given a little bit of invulnerable frames. Oh, if you sidestep at the right time, you'll gain invulnerable frames, and it'll open up the opponent for. So like, it's probably closer to Street Fighter levels of depth. That's what I would say.
And people just be yapping, super yapping. And let's go ahead and talk about the story real quick, bro. Very delusional, bro. Very delusional.
No, this store is terrible.
We go to the store and let's look at.
I hate this store.
I want to look at the reward systems. I'm just like, let me see the reward systems for this game, bro. And this is the store. You could buy capsules, whatever, more capsules.
Basically,
profile pics, black and white profile pics, and color ones. Titles. Whatever this is, a plate, I'm guessing, for the online thing that don't work.
Yeah, no.
Stickers,
I don't like it, man.
And capsules or something like that.
The stuff that I understand being able to purchase is the icons, the sticker, the stuff for your profile. I understand being able to purchase things like that. That's kind of standard. The other stuff is like, we don't really need that. It doesn't really do anything. Majority of people are not going to play with these things on. Also weird that you have this inside of like the base game shop when it's more so of a story thing. You can play with them online, but again, the majority of people that play fighting games like things to be as fair as possible, so people have typically a relative amount of equality inside of their fights. So majority of people aren't going to be using these bargains, upgrade things, plus attack 40% when their reishi is at 4 or lower or something. Like, majority of people aren't playing with those items on anyway. Just leave it to story and just keep it pushing, you know? Again, I get it. It has the option there. But maybe add more.
What's crazy is that this game has outfits for multiple people.
This right here.
Offline real quick.
There's no outfits to buy. Like, he's going to demonstrate. You just go into the game. There's no outfits to buy. You have all outfits. You only have one character to grind on. And that's the final Getsuga Tenshu version of Ichigo.
Why just give it to us? Why we couldn't unlock these outfits in the store?
Yep. Do challenges. There's a challenge mode in the game. I have felt zero incentive to actually do it outside of getting a trophy. But it would be good to either have some of the characters locked, or if you were going to give us all the characters, if you want their alternate moves or alternate skins, play through the story to get them. or unlock them in challenge mode, or make it available that if you don't want to go through those, gain enough money through regular fights that you can just go to the shop. But the only way to gain money in this game is to actually go to the story mode. So you also don't incentivize people to get money. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't tried the challenge mode out, but I do know that there's no reward system at the end of that outside of literal trophies.
I would have grinded for stuff like this. Like, oh, you got that new Ichigo? I grinded for it. It might have cost $1 million, whatever the coins thing costs, bro.
Yeah, for
Why
real.
They just automatically give us everything? They gave us all
Millions
the
a little much, but I get like it's an example.
What is there to grind for? You only
Sparking Zero actually did this very well.
You can't even go online with because the online is terrible.
When you first get into the game, they give you like a baseline of like, here's 100,000. You can buy outfits, you can buy characters inside the game shop. You can do this. You can buy certain music. There's nothing in the shop here. There's no music. There's no characters. There's no costumes. There's only nameplates and stuff. And like that's basic stuff that we want for the online experience. But outside of that, we don't care about the other stuff. It's not a problem that the other stuff is there. It's the problem that the other stuff is there and it's the only thing there.
You get what I'm saying, bro? Like, it's backwards. I feel like the store would have been, imagine if you would have saw all these outfits in the store. It's like, oh, okay. But no,
yeah,
they
for
gave
real.
it to you already. Trash.
Yeah, no, for real. I totally get that. Totally get that.
Man. I just think like
that kind of covers the majority of what I was trying to come across. The game is a good game. It just has some issues, and the main issue right now is just online. I hope they add extra stuff into the store, maybe more costumes or something, so we could play and have like a different way of grinding or something. I've personally been enjoying the game. I know I'm a certified yapper, so if you made it this far, awesome. If you didn't, I totally understand. We could have just skipped around. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Let me know how you're enjoying the game or not enjoying the game down below. And let me know some things that you want to see improve in Bleach Rebirth or Souls. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Peace.
I never felt like I never felt like